Right, it's been quite a while since I've done a bit of blacksmithing, or at least released anything on YouTube, and I thought I'd have a go at a bit of what was a Black Bear Forge project. Fairly heavy or hefty candlestick holder. So I've got here a piece of 17mm by 8mm by 300mm long. I think in the Black Bear Forge he was using 3" by 3/8 by foot. So I'm 2mm thinner, I'm thinner steel, but the same length overall. What we're going to do, I'll use the power hammer and I'm going to squish it down in the middle to make it like a bow tie in many ways. Then we're going to bend it and put a bowl on top. Anyway, that's the idea. On Black Bear Forge you use the anvil. I'm going to use the power hammer. I've already changed my dies over, so I've got semicircle dies, so they've got a slight dome to them for doing this. I've got my old GoPro here with a magnetic mount, so we're going to see if that holds on or whether that's going to be slowly sliding down the power hammer or what happens to it. But anyway, we're going to have different camera angles hopefully. That's the idea. There will be quite a bit of cutting and editing in this, but I'm hoping it's going to come out alright. So hope that's a good introduction and we'll get going. so this is where we've got to at the moment. Put that rounding hammer down. So hopefully you can see this. I may put some flatting dies in the power hammer to do this, but we've got this bow type shape. Now we started out with 300mm. We've now got 450mm, so it's actually grown by 6 inches in length. Not perfect, but then what is? I think next what we'll do is put a nice chased line on the inside of each edge. But I'll let it cool down and then have a better look when it's cold. So that's it for now. Right, the next stage on making this candlestick holder is I'm going to chase a line down the side on each side of the steel. I've set up the fly press. I haven't tried this before, so it's going to be a first time. I've set up the fly press with a stop I can go up against and a flat bottom chisel, so it'll give me a flat bottomed mark as I go around chasing it in. Anyway, we'll give it a try and see what happens. GoPro, turn off. Right, I'm just chasing this one line a bit deeper that didn't get as heavily done on the fly press. That's much better now. Chased into an even depth, approximately. Right, so this is where we are at the moment. A piece of steel with a chased edge. Right, I'm just going to mark where I need to put a puncher hole through for the bowl when we put the bowl on. So let's see where we are at the moment. 460, so that's 23. And that says 45 wide. Right, this punch is made from H13, so it should be able to take the heat, and looks to be about right. I need to turn this over. Went a bit overboard there. Get it flattened out. And that is our hole punched out. Right, what I'm going to do next is actually to cut up here, probably to about there, and then cut it and then just spread it a bit to give a wider foot at the bottom. So I'm just going to mark that out now. Right, I could do with just squaring up that edge, and if I'm lucky, my hacksaw may still be over at an angle. No, it isn't. Yeah, we got depth. my deburring tool. This will probably set the dogs off barking. So now we got it cut, we can then split it. Right, what I'm going to use, it's a slightly rounded chisel, quite a long taper on it. So I'm going to get this hot and then drive it down to push the sides of the stock out. Looking good. Now the other end. That looks good. Right, I'm going to have a go now at actually bending this, putting the curve in it. Off camera I've cheated and I've used an angle grinder to square off the end of the steel here on both ends, and I've also put my touch mark and date on the steel, because it'd be darn sight easier to do that now than when it's all bent up. So yesterday I made up this form, this bending form. So this bending form I've made out of 80mm by 12mm thick, very hefty steel. I've luckily got a pipe bender, and I just basically did it in the pipe bender to bend it up. It's about a 14-inch diameter bend on it. Probably with the thing it might be more 15-inch, but that's about it. Now what I've done, I've put a G-cramp on here, which allows me to be equidistant on my bending form. So I'll probably bring it onto there, rest it on there, clamp it, and then I'll use some bending tongs bending tongs to actually bend it round. That's the idea anyway. That's nicely followed the form there. Lovely. Following the form perfectly. Right, so this is what it looks like at the moment. That's a bowl I made up earlier. It's going to be quite a statement, I think. It's quite a large and heavy item. Yeah, I've made one of these bowls in the past, so I'll probably just use historical video on how to make one of these. So the next thing is going to be to rivet these two together. But what I might do first of all is drop this whole lot in hydrochloric acid to take off all of the scale that's on it at the moment. Right. So this is what it looks like after a night in the hydrochloric acid. That's 32% hydrochloric acid. It's taken all the mill scale off and taken me back to a brightish finish. I did give it a quick run under the bristle brushes, or whatever you call them, just to give it a little burnish. I have stuck it in the milling machine and just flattened slightly there. I've got this bowl I made some time ago. I've drilled it out to 10.5, which is the size of my rivets, just flattened it slightly. So I've got a flat on flat mating surface. I've countersunk it, cut a rivet off to the right length, so I've got protruding there. What I'm going to do is rivet it over actually in the fly press. I may finish it by hand, but the initial riveting I'm going to do in the fly press. Right, so I've set the fly press up with a bottom tool. It's not really tightened in there, it's only just placed, which will take a rivet. I'll maintain the round head on the rivet. I've got a top tool that will just squish that down. So I'll be putting my rivet on there. That down there, there's a bit of wiggle in this, just a bit of flexibility. My bowl will go on there, like that. I'm then going to heat it up and just squish it down. Camera's in the way. Sorry about that, I had to move the camera out of the way because the arm of the fly press was coming around. Right, I'm just going to have to give it another little heat because with the camera being in the way I couldn't give it a proper swing, so just going to give it another heat. That's done a lovely job. Just make sure I'm not too hot there. So hopefully, let's stick this on to, hopefully that's in focus there. Nicely riveted. Now I've got to remember this is damn hot. Right, as this is cooling I can actually hear the bowl making the odd ting, ting, because it is quite a nice musical kind of bowl. Anyway, the next thing will be to put it in the kiln and take it up to 400, 500 degrees and let it take on a colour, and then we'll just wax it from there on.